There is a place where no one is seen as a stranger, where no one is ever faced with danger. A place that is gentle, kind and light, where nothing would ever trigger a fight. A place that is boundless and wide, where we walk with angels side by side. A place with smiles and happy tears, where our hearts are open and there are no more fears. A place where love is seen on every face and arms are open wide to embrace. A place where everyone measures the same, where you are true though, and yet no one knows your name. A place where mysteries are explored, where truth is accepted and never ignored. A place where those of old age are wide-eyed and still learning, when time seems to rewind, and to youth we are returning.
Well, hello, my little chickadees. I hope you're doing well this morning. I think we got a little bit too much light. Well, no, that red brought us right back down. You look bright today.
You look okay. You look pretty today.
You look really bright.
I didn't know it was gonna be like that.
You're kind of stocked up, though, aren't you? A little stocked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey guys, I'm glad you're here. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a good Sunday already. If you're in the Carolinas, it's nice and sunny today. Not too hot, thank goodness. And looks pretty good outside. Feels pretty good outside. Let's see who's here. Let's see who's here. My sissy, my brother-in-law. Hey sissy. Hey, brother-in-law. Hey, brother James Dixon is here. Brother James and Kelly. Hope Kelly's doing well. Everybody, Kelly's recovering from surgery. She's doing well. Thank goodness she's home and doing very well. And we pray that she gets well real quick. And oh, by the way, I wanted to mention to you to keep Brother Charles Blue and his family in prayer. He's at the beach and he ended up in the hospital. But we talked to him yesterday and Pastor prayed with him and everything. And I think he's on the mend. He's coming along, and just keep them in prayer and uplift them. Send them a lot of light and love. And hey, Kathy, how are you? It's
Good to see you
here, honey
guys.
bun. And there's Bern. Hey, Bernie. I'm glad to see you here this morning, sweetie pie. And there's Dee Dee and George. Dee Dee, I was thinking about you. I don't know why. I just had you on my mind. But I hope you're okay.
Because she's short, that's why.
Because she's short. She's taller than you.
No, she's short.
Then you calling yourself short.
Yeah, she's
Because
short.
y'all about the same height.
She's short. She's shorter than me.
Tell George and Jamal we say hello, sweetie pie, if they're not watching. Hey, Sandra, good morning to you, sweetheart.
Yeah, Miss Sandra.
Yeah, and if Marcine's watching, tell her hello. And there's Jill. Hey, Jill.
Miss Jill.
Jill. And there's Yvette in Pittsburgh. Hey, Yvette. Yes. Thank you, Sandra. She said we both look great. And guess who's on here with us today? Leslie. Hey,
Leslie, look at that.
Leslie's here today.
I didn't heard her see that name in a cool's age.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Brother Blues is
But
watching. He's there.
I
Hey,
hope,
Brother Blues.
I hope everything is lining up.
Give us a thumbs up, Brother Blue.
I believe it
You're
is.
doing better. Give us a thumbs up. Pastor's been praying with you and I've been praying and affirming you. So just do that. Just give us a thumbs up to let us know you're doing well. And Dee Dee said George and Jamal said hello.
Hello, George and Jamal, Mr. and Mrs. Dion.
And then there's Diaquilin. Hey, Diaquilin. Diaquilin's been preaching lately. I tell you, she's been really coming up with some good comments.
I think I'm going to hire you to work for me, girl.
All of you have good comments, but Diaquilin's kind of standing out right now. She's at the head of the race. I don't know what's going on.
She's tearing her reverse out going forward.
I know. And all of the rest of you who are watching who haven't commented, thank you for being
Hey, when she talks, She'll make a round, we'll turn square and square back to the round.
It was funny this morning. You know, when we're doing the live streams, baby girl's always sitting here next to us, and she's waiting for her treats. So this morning, while I was getting ready and everything, I asked her because she hadn't had her breakfast. I said, "You ready for your chicken?" And she looked at me and she went and laid down in her corner because she realized that's where I'm gonna get my chicken. So that's what she did.
He said he's doing better.
Thank you, Brother Blue. Thank you, sweetheart.
I'll be calling you later.
And then there's Miss Pritchett. Hey, darling. That's now, I don't know if that's
Hello from Greensboro.
Lakeisha. Is that Lakeisha or is that the daughter? I'm not sure, sweetheart. But anyway, says keep her in prayer. We will.
I got you. Your prayer request is called conversational prayer. The request is directly coming to and from inside your eternal self.
You sound like you're talking.
Uh,
You're talking. Your nose is completely stopped up, isn't it?
it's all up in here. The ears stop.
Oh, no. That's the way you're talking.
No.
But anyway, we love you anyhow. Love you anyhow.
Just anyhow.
Anyhow.
Ain't no straight. Just anyhow.
No, we love you anyhow.
Well, leave anyhow.
All right. I got a question for everybody. But before we do that, I'm going to do an affirmation here. Okay. And bear with me as I get everything set so I can do this. Good morning, Elaine. Glad you're here with us, sweetheart. Good to see you on here with us. All right. This is an affirmation that we're going to do. It's called Abandon. And I know you may not be able to see all of this on your screens, but I want you to just repeat after me, if you would. I want you to take a deep breath in. And now release it. Take another deep breath. And now release it. Let all tension, all concerns go with it. And repeat after me. I stand without covering in the reign of God's love, without defense. I am experiencing absolute acceptance and freedom from having to perform. I fearlessly face the truth about myself and God. I truthfully examine all theories and open my mind to other possibilities. My eye is single, and the lens of conditioning is being removed. I am beginning to see everything as it really is, without the filter of human perception. I am comfortable with being who I am at this moment. I am experiencing the peace that goes beyond my mind. I fully open my heart to the love of God in reckless abandon and devotion. I have found grace to endure and accept what is without complaining. Everything that happens is supposed to happen for my evolution. All that I need flows to me from the abundance of the universe. I surrender and give to God all that I am afraid to lose. There is no thing that is hopeless, for there is an abundance of mercy for everyone. God is always with me, watching over me and in me. I have no need of evidence. I allow myself to be vulnerable so that I may be possessed by love. I am filled with the consciousness of Christ. And so it is. And so it is. You got something good today to give us?
Yeah, just waiting for you.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you are waiting for me. Good, 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 good. Brother Blue is thanking everybody for their prayers. Yeah, and we're going to continue to pray with you, Brother Blue, and the family as well. And that's Lakeisha's mom. Okay, I'm glad to have you here with us this morning, Mom. And let's see, who else is here? Sister Sharon just popped in, and Sister Chris, Mama Chris just popped in. She said we're all in our places with sunshiny faces.
I heard the Spirit saying that to me when I was in Milwaukee one time before I went into a service.
Yeah.
I mean, he was singing that inside. I want to get that right there.
He sees a fly flying around. He can't resist hitting it, but you're gonna knock everything down if you do. Hey, Essence. Hey, sweetie pie.
Essence J. Hickball.
Yeah, he sung that song to you. You were telling him about singing that song. God sung that song to you.
Yeah, and he was preparing me for an event that was going to take place when I got to the church. And I did something that I never thought that I would do in church. So I had everybody, the whole staff, I think it was, to line up in front of me on the stage. And he said, go along each one of them and kiss their feet.
I remember that.
Wow.
You had to wash your lips after.
My lips had done stretched from Milwaukee all the way down to North Carolina.
God set you up, didn't he?
He did. But he was singing that song, good morning to you all in our place with sunshiny faces. This is the way to start a new day.
Yeah, he set you up. He set you up good.
I mean, that was so real.
Got you all mellowed out, and then you had to kiss somebody's feet.
But I knew it was him.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was to demonstrate, it was the same thing that Jesus demonstrated to them when he washed the disciples' feet. It's saying that when you have people who are working with you, working under you, working for you, you really are their servant.
Yeah.
They're not your servants, you're theirs.
That's right.
I want to ask a question today, and I want you guys to respond if you can, as best you can. There's no right or wrong. It's not a test. But we often talk about the presence of God, and we often talking about feeling the presence of God and all of those things. Good morning, Raquel. But I don't know if we've ever really looked into what presence actually means. So can you write in, can you just kind of type in if you have the means to do so and you want to, what does presence mean to you? And then I'm going to read something to you to kind of help us all get an understanding of what presence really is. So if you would go ahead and do that, think about it for a moment, what presence means to you, and then type it in. I would love to hear what you have to say. I'm going to be reading from a book this morning called The Path of, let's see if I can get it in front of the thing here. I always lose this crooked. The Path of Spiritual Enlightenment. And it's by Dr. David Hawkins. Okay. Dr. David Hawkins is no longer in the physical plane, but he's still in the spiritual plane with us. He was a psychologist, psychiatrist, well-known psychiatrist who had an enlightenment experience, and he taught and wrote many books before his passing. He taught people how to transcend the ego, how to let go, all of those kinds of things. And he really did some in-depth teachings on spirituality itself and what enlightenment means. So I wanted to bring that to you. I'm going to read a little bit of his stuff to you once we get going here. Raquel, thank you. She says, presence means to her to exist. Okay. Jill says, presence means joy in the midst of challenges. That's what presence is to you guys. So yeah, come on and tell me what presence means to you, what presence is to you. So there's no right or wrong answer. There's no right or wrong. Okay. I'll give you an example of what it means when we talk about presence. Let's take an example of two waitresses. Okay. And I do this. I didn't know I was doing this, but I'm beginning to understand what I'm doing when I do this. When I go to the grocery stores or places like that, and I have to interact with people who are working there. A lot of times I've noticed that when they're working, other people who are there interacting with them don't make real eye contact, don't treat them as if they're people. They just are there playing a role, doing a job. And so they don't have any personal interaction with those people. So what I attempt to do, and I don't do it deliberately, it's just that I found that I really care about people. And so when I see them, the first thing I do is ask them how they're doing. And are they having a pretty good day? And just have a casual, uplifting conversation with them that lets them know I see them. I see you. Jill says this also, that presence to her is all that is overall. So when I do that with them, normally they come back with a smile and a very friendly way of saying I see you too. And we tend to have, especially at the grocery store when they're ringing up the groceries, we tend to have the best conversations, almost like we're old friends we just met again. And when I get ready to leave, they'll often smile and say, make sure you come back. And they're not saying it because they were taught to say it. They're saying it because they mean it. And I realize now that what I was bringing to them, and I'm not patting myself on the back because I didn't notice what I was doing. What I was bringing to them was presence. I was present, and I was letting them know I see you and that you are present. And so I began to ask the question, what is presence? And so, yeah, that's where I am. Good morning, Deb. Good morning, sweetheart. I want to read this a little bit to you, Pastor. Do you have anything?
No, go ahead.
About
I'll listen.
Okay. It says, let me take my glasses off so I can see. It said, all that is here that you call yourself is your presence.
Say that again.
All that is here that you call yourself is your presence.
Okay.
What makes you here is your presence.
Okay.
They give you an example. Let's say you go visit a friend and you come back again and your wife says to you, did you see George? And you say, no, he was asleep. If he's asleep, you didn't see George, even though his body was lying there. You didn't meet with George because he's not present. If his body was who he was, you would say, yes, I saw George. But no, he was taking a nap. The presence that we appreciate in each other is the presence of your own consciousness. Okay? All that is here that you call yourself is your presence. What makes you here is your presence.
Mhm.
So when we talk about the presence of God or being the presence, we're simply talking about that we are. It isn't something separate and apart from us. We actually bring presence, which is what God is. We bring presence to others. You do it all the time
Okay.
by simply acknowledging that you see that person. I see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see you. So
I
I'm
see
not
that.
gonna.
I see that the baby girl.
Yeah. So I'm gonna acknowledge you. I'm gonna not make. I'm not going to allow myself not to make contact with you. I'm going to make some kind of contact. Hey, Robert, man, and Denise, good morning to you,
Good
sweetie pie.
morning. Good morning.
So you're making some kind of contact with them. You're saying, I see you. You are present and I am present. We are presence. And so this is what I think it means to bring God into one's aura, to bring God into the situation. I'll say it like that. To bring God to people is to be present with them,
Yeah.
to actually be present with them.
We have been conditioned.
Give me
Go ahead.
a couple
I'm
times,
sorry. Go
Pastor.
ahead.
I'm going to shut up in just
No,
a second.
no.
I just want to acknowledge
Take your
their
time.
comments.
Take your time.
I want to acknowledge their comments. It says presence to me, Jacqueline says, is felt awareness. That's good. That's good. And all of your answers are good. So it's all of that and more. Robert says our bodies emit a measurable electromagnetic field that extends. It surrounds us like a sphere, and that's absolutely true. Absolutely true. I remember, and this is kind of off, not off the subject, but just another example. When we were years ago, we went to Pittsburgh to see Catherine Kuhlman, who some of you may remember her. Some of you who don't, she was a healer, and she had tremendous, large crowds
Real
following
famous,
her,
popular.
and lots of healing taking place. Not your normal, usual faith healers, but just
Just being in the
the presence,
right there in that building.
being in the presence. And sometimes it wasn't even when the church service was going on; it was before the service.
Outside, sitting at the door, on
Yeah,
the steps,
I
waiting.
mean, the night before the service, not even the day of the service. So
Right.
people were getting healed on the porch of the church.
Right. We saw
The
it.
presence was there. And so God was letting itself be known. I'm here. I'm here. And so, as Robert says, it's an electromagnetic field. And for whatever reason, Catherine was a vessel that made that electromagnetic field move, and other people could get into it and feel it and experience it. It was amazing. It was amazing. You could actually feel it, almost feel it physically, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah. Yeah.
What my discoveries when I look back, I deliberately go back to what was called a day of beginning of the physical anatomy of Sawyer. It took 50 years or more to find this out or to discover awareness of the presence of Christ, the Christ self, has never been without, but has always been within,
Mm-hmm.
around, over, under, through. And when I would go in the room, go home at night after leaving her, we were dating. I had the taste for alcohol and drinking left. And I would kneel down before I got into bed and say the Lord's Prayer.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know, I didn't and couldn't see then that who was praying the Lord's Prayer was the presence
Mm-hmm.
of my true identity.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that then. I thought Jesus and God and all that stuff was a Bible thing, and that you went to church to clear out guilt and feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
But I didn't know in the place that I lived physically that God was me
Yes.
and every alcoholic that came into my house on Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
They would always tell me, and you've heard me redundancy saying, you need to get up on Sunday morning and go to church. At Easter, they would buy me a blue suit, white bucks, and a black tie. My uncle would have to fold a tie for me. And I was little, it would just hang down on my knees almost. But I finally went to church. And when I come home, the first thing they would say to all the drinkers in the kitchen, he went to church today. But I didn't know that the people that was in the kitchen, they was just packed. The house stayed packed on Sunday morning. They were people who were supposed to be passing my house on the main Cherry Street in Winston-Salem. Up the street was a church, Friendship Baptist Church. They were supposed to be going to church. And I saw, and you heard me say it, a lot of the wives up the street, down to where they lived, close to me, had to come to my house, knock on the door, and cuss my uncle out, and drag their drunk husband back across the expressway. I was standing in the kitchen as a little boy watching these people, not knowing that just like Judas was sitting around the way the story goes now, the table with Jesus on the floor, whatever, that God was inside of Judas as the true essence of his eternal self.
Mm-hmm.
We were taught in church that the eternal life didn't start until you receive Jesus as your Lord and Savior. Some of the things that I have discovered about presence has put me into seeing the Christ in every man I meet. So and when I say every man I meet, I'm gonna say it another way. Everybody that I see in the store is him looking at himself, waiting on himself, managing the store. There's one store I go to in Kernersville where the manager of Harris Teeter, I call it Tweeter. He comes up to me, he's a pastor, and he wants me to talk to him. Excuse me, because he wants to. Somebody told him, excuse me, that I would tell him what I saw. And he had a daughter that passed overdose of drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to talk to him about her all the time. And he told me she had crossed over. But while I was standing there, I told him, I said, I see you and your daughter standing beside each other on the other side. He was thinking that I was talking about he'd get ready to leave. And I dealt with that even while I was talking to him as to whether he was getting ready to go where she was. Now, let me share something with you. The cravings of your eternal essence as the presence of your true self. If it is, I don't know how to say strong enough, it can cut your education, school in these bodies short. Not short as I am, 5'6", but short. To where you can actually, the grief of his daughter could very well pull him over there out of his body And there's no such thing as before he's ready or making him ready. It is a desire, the desire of the sanction of your eternal archives of God can leave your body. I mean, just walk off from it. I mean, just walk away from it and never flinch about coming back. And my experience, and sometimes it will turn around inside of your body. I had this to happen. I've had my essence.
You've experienced that, yeah.
Yeah, to turn around inside of my body and look at Jesus.
You've experienced yourself apart from your body.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't knock over my cup.
No, I'm not gonna knock it over. I get that flower for it. And my experiences from seeing this, I realized that I no longer have to have music or anything and feel bad, feel like a broke neck chicken in the meat house, feel like a wheelbarrow with a brick in it, and Miss Chris with a brick in it, and a flat tire and one handle. I could feel like water run uphill and a train have a flat tire. I could feel like I could get out of an airplane and change the wheel. I change the tire and it's still flying.
Oh boy. Wow.
I mean, you could feel like you could cook a rock on a hot day and cut it like you do a sandwich.
Like your head was turned backwards.
Yeah, really. And it reminds me of the cherubs in the Old Testament who could see in all directions at one time.
Mm-hmm.
When I found the morning that Jesus appeared to me, I didn't know that he was me appearing to himself.
Yeah.
I want you guys to hear this because I was not called to preach like most people said. I feel the urge to go to church and preach.
There was no voice saying,
no voice.
Preach, right.
All the titles that I received out of the 50 some years that I've been into this, all the voices that told me that I was the prophet and the seer and all that. At the time this happened, I did not have to have that. But in order for me to get in the organization, in order for this body to be seen as an icon in the physical world, people in their physical minds gave me the title.
Yes. And you accepted them.
And I went for it. But I never thought that waking up to what had really happened 50 some years later would reveal to me that the Lord was me talking to himself and appearing to himself.
And all you're talking about is presence again.
Yeah.
It's presence. Now Raquel says this. She said she remembers when we used to watch Catherine Kuhlman on Wednesday nights at Cornerstone. Yeah. And the presence of God was there in the services with her. And it was actually her presence, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was her presence. So God's presence is your presence. I want to also mention what Robert says. He says when fields intersect, he said that's what's going on with you when you meet people and you're able to speak to them about their lives and all of that. He's saying that's what that is fields intersect. And and that's true. And I remember Dr. David Hawkins, who I'm reading from today, he also mentions that miracles don't happen because we become powerful.
Yeah, that's right. Oh God,
miracles don't happen because people don't experience a miracle in our presence because we bring that power to the scene. But it happens because of a field of miracles that happens to be our presence, as our presence. And so therefore people just automatically receive. The miracles automatically happen. Now, I want to mention also what Elaine says, and this is so true. And it becomes a practice, and then once it becomes a practice, it becomes second nature. She says she loves acknowledging people where she goes, and that peace comes to her from smiling and having that random conversation with them and sharing the laughter. She said, because I've done this for so long, it's sometimes people just randomly start conversations with her.
I was out walking the dog this morning, and this lady come past me, and she had on some Hoka, Hoka, walking shoes.
Like mine, the ones that George and Dee Dee bought for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were blue, and I stopped. I said, "Where did you get them from?" She said, "Hoka." So I saw on the side of it, and she was sweating. She said, "I need a break in." When she stopped and talked to me, and I said to her, "I said, I like your shoes." And while she was standing there, I said, "How much weight have you lost?" She somewhat gave me an idea of it, but she said she don't eat much. Oh yeah, no, she said she eat a whole lot. I said I don't eat much either, but to cut through the chase, she began to talk, and the laughter came out of both of us. I told her how I had lost down from 286 down somewhere down to 186, somewhere up 88.6. And I told her that while I was walking, I lost so much weight that I had to come in this morning and get on my sewing machine and tie a bow in my underwear.
You've lost so much weight that he put a shirt on this morning that he used to wear. And he said, "What do you think about this? How does this?" And so I said, "You look fine." But I looked up under his neck, and it was all bunched up like this, was bunched up, and it was looking kind of wonky. But anyway, it's because the shirt was so big.
It was a 2X, a 3X shirt, but it's been in the closet for years.
You cannot wear those.
Robert, I used to wear the shirt when I was around you guys. Some of the guys then, but I told the lady, I said, "It's a shame," but I said, "I'm walking out of here, and I got my pants up. I had suspenders on, and I was walking, and my underwear was sliding down my leg with my breeches up."
Made me think about an incident I had with his mom before she passed. I used to go take her shopping, and she had gotten so tiny that all of her clothes were too big. So she pinned her skirt. She wore a skirt, and she pinned it in the waist. Somewhere along the way, we were in the middle of Walmart. Somewhere along the way, she lost the pin, and the skirt fell all the way down to her ankles.
My goodness.
We couldn't find the pin. So we were both laughing so hard we were crying. And then we had to find a pin. So I confess. I told her, "Stay right here, don't go nowhere. Hold that skirt." I went and found a pin, but I had to steal it.
Oh, Lord.
We laughed so hard we cried. Yeah, that's how little you've gotten.
That was a man who went to the doctor. I saw him on YouTube. He went to the doctor, and the doctor wanted to hear his heart. So the old guy, he just stood there, and the doctor was coming. He was standing there with his hand on the table, and he just farted.
Oh Lord!
He was passing gas. Okay. The doctor. Well, wait a minute. The doctor said to him, "said Look, that's fine and good, but said I want to hear your heart."
You see, you jump track. You done jump track.
But the presence.
Shut up. Be quiet.
The presence.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Elaine asked this question. She said, "Is this also a form of presence projecting your true presence?"
Yes.
Yes.
That's what happened. But when that happened to me, I didn't know that 50 years later we would be right here on the phone. Mm-hmm. On the phone.
Robert says he's half the man he used to be. Thank God. I
mean, it felt sometimes when I get ready to get up in my Jeep in the car, I feel like I could get in the car without even opening the door, just squeeze through the crack.
Mhm, mhm.
And when I just I'm telling you the presence of knowing
Yes.
beyond any teacher. I searched for years, Robert. You know this, and some of the rest of you. I searched for years to find people who genuinely operated in the gifts of the Spirit.
Yes. And you know, it's one thing to have the desire for power, which could be very egocentric. But when you allow your presence, I won't even say allow because it's an automatic thing. When you truly see people, when you truly see them, not just what's the word I'm looking for? Not treating them as if they are robotic. If you truly see people and you have that connection, it's like a divine connection that takes place. And it's just exactly what Elaine says. It's the form of presence projecting your true presence, and it is God's presence being projected. I'm recalling now when Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he was coming out of the garden, and I remember they said they came after him with knives and spears and all that, and
I got that page right in front of me looking at
oh
it.
really?
Yeah,
You read it. What is it? Then he said, "I am He."
yeah. Um, and it said in here that when he said, "I am He,"
Mm-hmm.
they asked him,
You found it?
one of the 12, they said, um, one of them, which were with Jesus, stretched out his hand and drew his sword
Mm-hmm.
and struck
The
a
mouth.
servant
Mm-hmm.
of the high priest
Mm-hmm. Malchus.
and cut his ear off.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus said to him, "Put up again thy sword into his place, for all they all they that take the sword shall perish with
Mm-hmm.
the sword."
Is that the same passage that I'm looking for?
Yeah.
Where he
Thinkest
says, "I
thou
am
not that I
He."
cannot pray to the Father? Yeah.
So,
And it said, and when he said, "I am he," that they said he saw Jesus of Nazareth. He said, "I am he," and it said
and
that
they
they
all fell
fell
back.
backwards.
What my
He
point?
said, "I am
He said, "I
he."
am," and the "he" in the translation is italicized. So that means that there really was not a "he" on it. He just says, "I am."
And the
And
he, when I looked at that this morning, the he was saying, "I am you."
yeah, and more than that, what his his statement of "I am" was being present. He said, "I am," and that goes back to what someone mentioned earlier, that to them the presence. I think it was Raquel said the presence to her meant I exist, I am, and that was the power.
Mm-hmm.
The power was the presence.
Mm-hmm.
I am. And so when we meet people with our presence, they're meeting the I am, and we're meeting the I am in them.
My mama was riding with me in the car one time. We was taking her to the doctor, and y'all probably may have heard this before, but we were the wife in the back seat, and we were riding up front, me and mom, and she loved Krispy Kreme donuts, and I stopped and get her 6 of them or whatever, and she'd be sitting there in the car while I was riding, just a smack in the lip. She was 96 when she crossed over, but before she got where she couldn't move around good, she would be eating them donuts, just smacking them. "Don't you want one?" We said no.
So she would take the box and sit it on her lap.
Yeah, I sit on her lap.
He rode in the passenger seat. I was sitting in the back watching this whole movie. So
she would tear them donuts up. And one time we got in the car and we had best time laughing presence now. And I let the window was up, and she didn't
You had
want
the air conditioner
had the air
on.
conditioner on. She didn't want the air.
He was in her 90s, so she was cold with the
Yeah,
air
she's
conditioner.
cold.
She wanted the window down, so she would roll it down.
She
You would
rolled
roll
it down.
up.
I rolled it up. Rolled it down. Rolled it up. I said, "Wait a minute." And this is what I said to my mama. Now, y'all have to understand.
But they
what's
talk to
going on.
each other this way.
Yeah.
So
I said, "Get your own damn car. You can roll your window up and down."
she went silent for about
She didn't
almost
say that.
5 minutes. Almost 5
She
minutes.
just
I
sat
would
there
say.
and didn't say that.
Didn't say anything. And then all of a sudden, out of her little mouth, she said, I'll get my own damn car. Now, mind you, she didn't have any license, never driven in her life.
Couldn't drive a car if her name was Carl.
But they laughed about the whole thing. And then afterwards, she would tell all her friends and neighbors.
She told everybody in the neighborhood what I said.
and what she said.
Yeah.
So it became a inside joke.
I'll get my own damn car. And she go to the grocery store and she'd be pushing that buggy. In the olden days, when they wanted to pick up some meat or something in the meat section of the store, she'd pick it up, look at it,
examine it,
and then throw it back down.
Yeah.
And she'd be walking around. And listen to this. She'd be walking around, picking up stuff, tasting it and eating it, and be just smacking a jaw. And I said, Mama, I said, look, you ain't paying for this stuff. And I said, when you get back up there to the cash register, they're gonna pick you up and rub your butt across that that computer thing and register how much food you've been eating in the store.
So what we miss of people when they're gone, as far as their physical presence is gone, what we miss is their presence.
Yeah, that's it.
We miss their presence, and so their presence is what brought life to us. Now you can laugh about her. You can think back on the things she did, even some of the things that bugged you. Now they're joyful. It's a joyful thing because you recall her presence, and so we're realizing now that is what is most important, is to experience the presence of one another, which is the presence of God. I want to read something else to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Also in the same book, Dr. David Hawkins says, so enlightenment is different than salvation. Okay. Enlightenment is different than salvation. It doesn't have anything to do with being a good person.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with being a good person. It has to do only with the drive to realize the truth. The drive to realize the truth. That is what enlightenment is. And the church hasn't taught us that. The church only points to salvation.
Yeah.
Keep you safe. I'm going to make sure you're safe.
Right.
Make sure you don't go to this place called hell.
Yeah.
Or make sure that God always accepts you because you walk the chalk line. That kind of pointing. So we have not, those of us who came through the Christian religion have not experienced enlightenment in the sense of the intent being only to discover the truth. The truth of what? The truth of myself, the truth of God, the truth of life, the truth of all that is.
It is a wonderful experience to be the presence of God in a good day and what is called a bad day.
Yeah.
It is a wonderful experience. Somebody asked me, how do you see Jesus 24/7? That's something that was burnt into me by insight. I did not, most people say that if you want to get this kind of power and this kind of experience that I'm talking about, you have to fast and pray 30 days, 40 days, and 40 nights.
That's power. That's the seeking of power.
And I realized after years, I never could fast 40 days and 40 nights.
The most you did was 4 days.
Maybe 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
And the same experiences was happening to me. I went all over the country. I got books here where I studied how do these guys work miracles in their services? The only real one that I saw was the Catherine Kuhlman, and the ones that I really thought that was genuine were sit-ups that they did before the service started. I witnessed that with some certain ones,
Yeah.
and I kept up with them and drove and read and some of them. I used to talk to Joel Osteen's father, John Osteen, on
John.
the phone. Call him directly and ask him, "How do you do this?" I got books in there now. Well, guys named Bernie Davis, who had the evangelist, who had the taught on how to activate the miracle power of God. But when I found out that the gifts of the Spirit is wedged and enlarged in the Christ self,
And interfaced with your own
yeah,
spiritual and five senses. Yes.
the morning that my wife was awakened and Spirit told her that he was going to begin to manifest himself, I didn't know that the same manifestation that he had that Saturday night at the church we went to, I didn't know I could have had that same operation through me without feeling anything, without a
Yes.
tear, without
Yes.
feeling a brokenness,
Yes.
without grief
Yes.
or hurt.
Yes.
The presence of God was introduced to me, and I didn't know that it was coming from the inside of me. I had never asked for being saved and salvation and confession. All I asked the Lord to do every morning, every night, I say, "Forgive me for my sin." And before I could get out the door,
You done sinned again.
I done it again. They had to go back and start all over again. I just got tired of it. I just
Yeah,
got plumb
yeah.
bright, not nasty
And,
tired.
and you should, and you should. But I remember when the scriptures also said that Jesus was moved with compassion. So it was when the
Mhm.
power of God was exhibited, when when the presence of God, when people were present and someone really cared about those people, really cared,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
really cared. And so it comes through really having compassion for others. That's when that power that we often long for through our egocentric desires, that power is exhibited when we're present and we really care about people.
Here's presence. There's a lady online with us now, Leslie Monroe. I don't know how many years, 3 years, maybe 4, maybe give or take a little. But the presence of God in her heart, every month she's sent and been doing it for a couple of years, a large sum of finances to us that has kept me going with putting gas and doing small things around the house and otherwise. That because she give is not the it has to be done for the presence of God. It is the presence of God as her moved with or without on a rainy day, snowy day, hot day, cold day. She's still been doing the same thing. The presence of God and whatsoever is honest, just, and of good report. The presence of God has taught me how to talk and hear and see God's voice without any type of prompting, without any nudging. I don't have to do anything. And I feel it now. I sense it now. But it's not a feeling like sometimes I feel a goosebump up my arm. Sometimes I feel it in my face. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I feel like I fell off the back of a truck and it backed up and rolled over me. Sometimes I just don't want to be bothered. But that presence of what he did to en- engrave, burn, I will never be without that knowing
We've been
presence.
what I call imprinted.
Yeah,
We've been
that's a good
imprinted.
word, imprint.
When you look at the face of a coin, they have imprinted certain figures on it. And our having seen Jesus and looked in that mirror of ourselves has been imprinted on our psyche. And that's what shines through when we're present.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we're present. Yes.
When I told the doctor, y'all heard me say this. I told Dr. Kirkpatrick.
She's the one that did your last back surgery.
Back surgery.
Yes. Yes.
I called her around in the room. I said, move your computer out the way. In her chair, I said, roll your chair, you in it over here in front of me. Did I take her by the hand or did I just talk?
You did. You took her by both hands.
By both hands.
This is prior to your surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said to her, I want to speak to the Christ in you. See, most of us say, pray. I got something about the man upstairs. And I said to her, I want to talk to the Christ in you. I didn't really have to do that for me, but for her, I wanted her to be aware that it was him that was going to do the surgery.
Well, not only that, Pastor, going back to what we're talking about, presence, being the presence of God, being that presence, your presence is the presence of God. What you did was you looked at her with and actually looked through the label that she wore of doctor.
Yeah.
And you looked through that and saw her.
Yeah.
Who she truly is. And that way you connected with who she truly is. And she was humble enough to allow you to do it. Some people will not allow the veil of their label and their position to let you get through that. But she was very open to doing that. And so you were able to touch her.
Yeah. It was so awesome that she did. A lot of times when I go in the doctor's office for a visit, you know, that little stool they sit on that you can raise it up and down in the computer. I go in messing with them and I just pull that little stool over and sit down and I want them. I say, you sit over there.
Yeah, you always do that because that's your temperament, but and that is being used as presence for a lot of them. And I've noticed some people actually resist God.
Yeah.
Because
God,
they resist the presence that you bring.
Yeah.
They resist the presence you bring. If you're too happy, for some people, they don't like it.
They don't like it.
That's them resisting God. It's not a personal thing at all. It's not a personal
thing. I've been
thing.
looking for someone to do cement work on our walkway in front. And so we had a guy to come by to give us an estimate on it. Long story short, I was telling him what I did and about the church and everything. And he said, I don't believe in this God stuff. And I don't believe in this church and religion and all that kind of stuff. I said, that's okay. I usually would panic when people say that, but I said, no, that's okay. I said, it's not about brick and mortar and building and church. But I said, he's standing here. I said, Jesus is standing here.
Whether you believe it or not.
Whether you believe it or not. I said, he's standing in you, looking over here at himself over here. And then he began to explain to me how he was in a bad accident. And he was standing there. We laughed at it, but he was talking. And every time his mouth come open, he had all his teeth broke out in the front. And he said, excuse me, I know I look like a broke-in jail. But he said, I was in this accident and it practically wiped him out. And I said, you were not supposed to be here before he said that. And I said, the Lord kept you here so that we could meet today. And then he took his left hand and pointed up in the sky. He said, the man upstairs. I said, whether he's upstairs, downstairs, in the basement, around the corner, or what, he's standing right here. His mind was so blocked in the conditioned world.
That's how deeply entrenched separation
how
has
deep
been
entrenched
in
separation
all of
is.
us of humanity. Yes,
I wish that I could put words into place to describe the most awesome thing that I've seen happen to people in the stores. When I stopped, I said, ma'am, and some of them very attractive ladies, and I said, look, I'm going to tell you this, but I'm not trying to get a date with you or make passes at you. I said, I want to tell you straight out, okay? I can see the Christ in you, in your eyes, looking at himself over here on my side. Now, I tell ladies, you can't do that. You have to be careful as a lady approaching people with this.
Especially if you're an attractive lady.
Yes, you have to be real careful with that. I said, I can see him looking out, and I don't have to feel nothing. It's a knowing that has been revealed to me. This that I speak to you.
Yeah. Now I want to read a couple of scriptures.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm gonna pull my
Um,
book up.
The presence that you are is we've taken for granted that we thought, I'll say it like this, we thought that our presence was different from the presence of God, but it is in fact the presence of God. And I'm going to give you some scriptures. It's in Colossians 3, and this is in the third verse. It says, and I like this passage only because there was a time in my life when I had not read it, and it was quoted to me verbatim by Spirit, and then I found it and read it. It says, for you are dead.
Oh,
You are dead. And your life is hid with Christ in God. And to give you an example of a glove, a hand in a glove. If you take that hand, take your hand out of the glove is dead.
yeah.
The glove is dead. But what goes inside that glove brings life to that glove. Now listen, you are dead. Your life is hid with Christ in God. When Christ, who is your life, shall appear, then shall you also appear with him in glory.
That's what happened to me. He appeared to himself
Your
in
presence
my
is
form.
the presence of God.
Yeah. He appeared, my Lord, speak unto my Lord. I can't explain
Your
it.
presence is the presence of God.
Oh, I wish I could
So
put
allow people to experience you as presence. Allow it.
and I,
Don't
and
be afraid. And it takes a certain amount of vulnerability because you don't know how others will respond. They're not always friendly. They're not always open. And it doesn't mean you're going to witness to them. It doesn't mean you're going to go and you're going to try to cheer them up and you're going to, no, it just means see people, connect with them, allow them to experience you, and so that you can experience them. And when that happens, that intersection, as Robert mentioned, that's when the presence of God actually flows. You can feel the flow
yeah,
between the two of you. Yeah.
the
Wow.
Gnostics teaching gives off a clear understanding of it. The divine spark is the portion of God that resides within each human being.
Yes.
The purpose of this life is to enable that divine spark to
Yes.
be.
Yes. Yes. Now, Robert said, you are God's coin. You are God's coin.
Yes.
Spent and not saved. Yes, sir. I agree. I so agree. Jacqueline says, I used to pray for people to feel and see God from my presence. Long before I came out of religion, I wanted to be a representation of God. And you've experienced that with a lot of people when you tell them, I see Christ in your eyes or in you, that a lot of them are moved to tears because that's what they want.
Yeah.
That's what they long for. Someone to see me, see God here.
I have people stop me on the street when I'm walking my dog, just walking. And they want to talk to me about I got a 12-wheel folding trike. And they'll stop. I've seen people stop on the side of the road, lined up in cars, and want to take pictures of my bicycle. And where did you find this at? They don't have an idea that the Christ self as them and us is actually talking to himself on the bicycle.
Yes.
I just
Yeah.
I never I come to a place where I don't have to use the Bible anymore. I don't have to use scripture to prove a point. I just use it to communicate. I use books of certain things now to try to find the words to express the unexpressible, the inexpressible, but it's indescribably delicious. The old song years ago said, "A different kind of shredded wheat and muffin is the name."
Mm-hmm.
A tisket, a tasket, what's inside my basket? A
Mm-hmm.
different kind of shredded wheat and muffin is the name. I done found out where Angie Mama is.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
We used to
There
walk down the
are.
hall and said, "Ain't your mama on the pancake box?"
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. That was stolen from the family that actually created it. But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
anyway, there are at least three things that will, I should say, hide the presence of God in you as you from others. And that is a poor self-image. When you do not see who you are, you will be awestruck by other people and not really see who they are past their labels, such as what we were talking about with his doctor. You'll think of her, this is the doctor. I can't talk to her like that.
Oh yeah.
So a poor self-image or not knowing who you are will cause you to shut off your presence from being seen and felt by others. Fear of people not being friendly, fear that they're going to not accept you, fear of being rejected, all of that will block your being, having presence, being coming from you and emitting from you. It will shut your presence off. It will veil it. I'll say it like that. Pride is another thing. It's for people who are very high-minded. They want to present themselves as being rich, or they want to present themselves as being very beautiful. Their appearance is very, very important. That will veil presence, because this is what you're presenting to people. You want them to see that, and so therefore your presence will not be seen. So there's more, probably a whole lot more things that will veil the presence of God that you are from others. But this is just an example.
I used to tell people on the telephone while we were talking, I said, "Have you had trouble with your back?" They said, "Yeah." I said, "Here's what I want you to do. I want you to, if you, where are you now?" "I'm in the bedroom," they say. And I say, "Okay, straighten up, put your back against the headboard and sit up straight." I said, "Now stretch both legs out straight as you can and see which one of these legs are longer than the other." I said, "Don't make anything happen, just relax and stretch out."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Now I want you to sit still and watch this." I would speak to the Christ inside of them and to the leg, and I would command the short leg to grow out even with the other. Don't have to be that physically.
Mm-hmm.
I just do it over the telephone.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them would drop the phone, and
Yes.
some of them would scream,
Mm-hmm.
and the leg would grow out. I've done that over the years. I haven't done it a long time, but the more you do this, the more familiar you get with it. The more you, if I would say, practice seeing Christ instead of the dark side, even in our new president, if you would see beyond his name and his position, you will see inside of him an eternal essence or the spark of God. This spark can never die, it was never born.
Yeah.
And once you realize this, but it's not, you don't see this because I said it. It's something that has to be divinely experienced. And it's real simple. But I use that all the time. That's my message. My message is what I am, who I am. And you guys out there right now are talking from the Christ self with your presence, your picture, and your response online this
Mm-hmm.
morning.
Mm-hmm.
I want to speak to the Christ in you and tell him that I am aware of his address, his face, and the pictures that I see of him in his new suit that he's wearing online this morning. The Christ that I speak to is you, and I am you speaking to myself. Thank you for giving me an opportunity in the Christ in you to come to earth in these suits and meet myself again through conversational prayer online this morning. That's a whole lot, but
That,
I
yeah,
want you to. That's a whole lot. I'm
when you
trying to.
when you close your eyes and you go into whatever it is you go into and you're talking, you forget all about where we are. You just go into that place, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, you do.
I just like talking about it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just like
Listen, we're
expressing
so
it.
glad that you stayed with us for the duration of this session. And thank you so much for your wonderful comments, questions, comments, and even for those of you who said absolutely nothing. We just appreciate you being here with us. And we appreciate all of the support that you've been giving us. And thank you for doing that. Of course, remember that if you want to give to the ministry itself, you do that by giving to Cornerstone. So you can go to the website, which is thecornerstonelifecenter.com, and hit the donate button and it goes directly in. Or you can do the QR that I have on the screen for Cornerstone. It'll go directly into it. And of course, when you bless Pastor and myself, you can do Cash App. We thank you so much for remembering us in that regard and honoring us with your substance and letting us know that what we have to say is valuable and that it does relate to you. It does resonate with you. And we're just appreciative of all that. We'll be back on Tuesday at 7. And hopefully Pastor Norman, I think he's on there with us today. Pastor Norman, if you're still there, could you give us a thumbs up if you're going to be with us on Tuesday night? He's always with us on Tuesday, and we have such a wonderful conversation. And we love being with you guys in that capacity. So we hope that you'll join us on Tuesday night at 7. Lord willing, there he is. Lord willing. And we love you, Pastor Norman. Pray that you have a wonderful day.
Leslie, your prayer is heard from inside of you, and I'm reading your message about your back. There will be a time when you will do what I just demonstrated, and you watch your leg, and it will come out and grow even, and you get a lot of relief from your back. But anyway, I got you covered on this side. And you guys, I thank you for the response that you've given to us. I thank you for the funds and the finances that you have overwhelmed us with.
Yeah.
Thanks a million to the Christ in you.
We're going to take off here. Go have a wonderful Sunday and enjoy yourselves. We love you. We'll see you next time.
See you on the turnaround.
Bye-bye.